Hi, everyone, and welcome to the 38th episode of Battles and Voices. I'm Lathika, and I'm the founder and host.
And I'm Camden, and I'm the co-host.
Battles and Voices shares different experiences in healthcare in order to foster a supportive community for the future generation of medicine.
Now, please welcome our guest, Teehee.
Thank you so much for being a part of this episode. It means so much to us that you'll be joining us today on Battles and Voices. Feel free to introduce yourself again and share a little bit about who you are.
Yeah, my name is Taehee Strauss. I'm a associate specializing in dermatology and aesthetic medicine currently in Los Angeles area. Prior to that, I practiced neurosurgery at Hoag in Orange County. Took care of patients with spine surgeries who needed that surgical intervention for their pain. Prior to that, I was neonatal ICU RN for 6 years and also taught cadaver anatomy, which I'll get into more details later. Yeah, so that's my background. My current kind of day to day is uh, mainly cosmetic dermatology. I used to do medical, surgical, and cosmetic dermatology. Currently, I'm mostly focusing on aesthetics and changing people's lives daily by treating their faces and skin health and more. Yeah.
That's amazing to hear. So, into our first question, what inspired you to first enter the healthcare field, and how did that lead you to your current work in dermatology and aesthetics?
So I'm originally from Seoul, South Korea. 20 plus years ago, I came to US. And because my dad is a physician, he did some medical research through state universities in US. And I worked with him through like medical mission trips, and I saw him as a great role model in medicine. And so naturally, I had lots of interest in going into medicine. Um, at that time, 20 plus years ago, I was an international student, so I wanted to try medicine, but then, paying the kind of international student fee was pretty high. And so also, I wasn't 100% sure, am I going to be in medicine forever? So I chose nursing to get into, medicine kind of healthcare route first and practice in ICU, taking care of neonatal patients. And then I realized, yeah, that was for me. And more so, my role as a provider was better fit for what I was looking for. So that's how I kind of narrowed it down to going to PA school at that time. Yeah, so that's sort of the main reason how I decided to get into medicine. Also, I was always drawn into kind of, any discipline where it involves science, critical thinking, artistry, using my hands. So that's kind of how I got into dermatology and aesthetics, and I think it's perfect for me, yeah, based on what I was looking for.
That's so inspiring to hear, and I love how you chose this perfect path. What motivates you to keep going, especially during those difficult challenges in your work or even in medicine in general?
I would say this particular specialty is so special. It always changes, ever-changing field of medicine, very new because people know about plastic surgeries, but non-surgical interventions are very, very new still. So it keeps me engaged and always stay curious because, once you learn a lot of things and then you get used to everything, some people burn out, some people get bored. I get bored very easily if I don't have like stimulating kind of, tasks, new things to learn. But this specialty is perfect in that manner. I love how I can learn something new every single day. So that kind of keeps me going. Also, there's always challenging situation, right? Difficult patients and, challenging situation in medicine that actually helps me become a better provider. So that actually helps me going as well. Yeah.
That's so beautiful to hear. You've mentioned the passion for human cadaver aesthetic anatomy. Can you explain why that part of your field is so meaningful to you?
Yeah, sure. So first, I taught cadaver anatomy labs to pre-health students while taking pre-PA courses and working at the same time. And I realized how beautifully human body is interconnected and yet so distinctly functioning. Each part of the body is functioning differently, but beautifully as at the same time. And so, looking from the macro anatomy perspective kind of makes me appreciate the respect each humans. And also I'm sure you guys took some cadaver or anatomy courses, and there's so much variation whenever you look at different person to person or cadaver to cadaver, if you will. And so it's really important for me to understand that differences in between different person, and I treat faces every day, and that kind of adds another really important layer of safety. So that's why it's very, very important for me, and I'm really passionate about cadaver anatomy. And you know, it also not just delivering a good result, but also knowing why and how I do what I do, and that delivers safer and natural results. And so that's really important for me. And also, it sounds kind of counterintuitive, but makes me appreciate microanatomy and cellular biology at the same time, because it's not just what I see with my human vision, right? I'm treating, uh, if you will, kind of blindly with, say, needle. I'm not cutting and dissecting, but at the same time, treating in a cellular level makes me appreciate how human body works. Yeah.
I really love that. So, diving deep into the next question, how did your experience teaching cadaver courses in college shape your approach to medicine today?
So, first and foremost, since I'm in dermatology, really deep understanding of different layers, even skin. There's so much, uh, science into the tiny layer. Like, for example, epidermis has so many different layers, right? And the dermis and subcutaneous layers. And that's where I always, day to day, I work with it. And so, knowing that deep understanding of layers, the structures, and how much it's intertwined in the human face, that translates to type of injections and treatments in derm and aesthetics I choose for each patient. Also helped me a stronger candidate when I was applying for PA school, because I taught cadaver anatomy and have that really deep understanding of it. And so that made me really a well-rounded candidate before I going into PA school. Also, for me, it was another career opportunity opened up at that time. Had a really good, teaching experience with pre-health students and anatomy. The director actually offered me a job to teach the full course. But at the same time, I got into PA school, so I was like, yeah, I was excited, but at the same time, more excited about going to PA school. Yeah, so you never know. Those kind of experience makes you not only a good candidate, stronger candidate, but you might go into different career at the same time. And so, yeah, so there was another aspect there. And then, makes me a better derm and aesthetic provider because I already have in-depth foundational anatomy knowledge that really helps me with daily patient care, along with safety comes with it. Yeah.
That is incredible, and I'm glad it helped further your knowledge with the cadaver courses. So, aesthetic medicine combines the artistry and science. So, how do you balance creativity with patient care in your work?
So for me, right now in aesthetic medicine, ultrasound is a new part of this medicine. It helps us to, be safer, and it helps me to identify like vessels, tissue structures, layers, and fat pads. It another, like I said, another layer of safety. So that kind of is really helpful tool in aesthetic medicine. And also regarding the creativity part, you do need to have the eyes to create kind of artistically pleasing results. If you have that, you build more on top of that, more with taking courses, improving techniques, and things like that. And also respecting the patient's cultural kind of aesthetic goals, what they're wanting to do, if they're sagging, how. we're lifting, that's, really different depending on the culture and how they look at themselves. Or, aesthetic beauty goals are very different person to person. So I need to make sure that's matching. And then combining all of those, along with making final diagnoses of aging and proper treatment plan for each person, I think that kind of combines all that balancing creativity, with patient safety in my work.
I really love that, and I love how you put patient safety and awareness above everything else, and I think that's really important to highlight in medicine.
Thank you.
So, so what's a project or accomplishment that you're especially so proud of, and what did it take to achieve that accomplishment?
Man, so many things, but main thing I can think of is getting into PA school. Um, I'm a non-traditional student, so I, came in as an international student when I was in college, and then started with nursing, practice in nursing for 6 years. Then I applied for PA school. At that time, my GPA wasn't that great, and so I had to really work super hard to raise that GPA, high science GPA, all the things as you guys know. Um, and at the same time, I was working as an RN, teaching cadaver courses. Also, I had a mini French macaron bakery business on the side. Yeah, for side gig. And so it was a lot of juggling. Also, I was a, wife. Oh, I am a wife. Yeah, happy wife. And so that was really a lot of juggling, but it was worth every minute. And when I first started or decided to get into PA school, I just remember that day going into college counselor, and she told me, getting into PA school is harder than any other discipline in medicine, doctorate, master program. So I was one very shocked, but at the same time, it made me actually work really hard for it because that's what I knew I wanted to do. So I would say that's a compliment I'm really, really proud of. And yeah, it is a lot of work. However, it was short time, so worth every hard work. And then another thing I would say, getting into dermatology and aesthetics because it's extremely hard to get in. Um, in PA school, I loved every rotation. So I was interested in so many different specialties, but eventually I narrowed it down either derm or surgical route. Um, but I applied so many different jobs as a new grad, it's hard to get in. And so, you know, but I continue to push through. I started with neurosurgery first because that was another choice of mine. And I never gave up, and kept applying for dermatology or aesthetic medicine or even plastic surgery because it's in the similar discipline. And finally got in. And I'm in, let's see, third derm clinic now, which, current clinic is one of the top clinic in the nation. And I'm very, very proud that I'm in this stage of my life. And so those are the top two I would say I'm very proud of. Yeah.
That is wonderful and amazing, and congratulations on doing it.
Thank you.
How do you manage all your professional responsibilities from seeing patients to teaching and pursuing your own projects?
Um, my philosophy in that is always have balance and boundaries. Um, as healthcare providers, and you guys too, probably, you guys want to help people. We want to help people. We are compassionate naturally. Uh, in the beginning stage of my career, it was hard for me to say no to responsibilities or patient load or whatever you call it. But knowing when to say no and when to say yes and take the opportunity, I think that's really important. It comes with time, but learning how to do that, I think that's really important. Um, what else? And if you don't do that balance and boundaries, you will burn out eventually, regardless how much you love what you do. So to me, doing things, making sure my weekend is protected from, patient care. That way I can be refreshed and go to Monday, clinic and really take care of my patient with my full force. And so I travel a lot, do things like yoga to balance myself, and just, walk at the beach, things like that, talking to family, yeah.
I definitely have to agree with you. I think balance and boundaries is a very two important things to have while working in the healthcare field. So what do you wish more people understood about dermatology or even aesthetic medicine?
So many things, to be honest with you. Um, so I hope patients understand more about, real science in dermatology and aesthetics versus pseudoscience. And there's so much misinformation out there, internet, social media, take advantage of those kind of false information. And so I wish people knew more about, if any company sells like 100% results with one treatment or one product, most likely it's false. It's too good to be true, right? And also, I wish people knew more about coming to really get the true consultation by the provider who's experts than just reading and learning things from online. Because there's so much misinformation out there. It's hard to really figure out what's fact, what's not. And so, those are some of my wishes. Also, let's see. I also wish more medical providers advance their educations, understanding of more of this human anatomy, even microanatomy, like understanding cellular level what's happening, And when it comes to skincare, skin health, you have to understand what's going on in a cellular level to in order to fix inside out, not from outside in. And so I wish more providers really advance those educations and things like that. Also, I wish more providers are careful what they share in the social media. I see all the time providers performing wrong techniques, wrong informations, and patients think it's true, and then they come and ask me, and then I have to debunk those myths and things like that. And also doing wrong techniques, and it's precious patients' faces, right? Imagine this is your mom, your sister. Um, First oath for medicine is do no harm. So I feel very passionate about, learning what's right, doing what's right for the patient. I think that's really important. Um, yeah, and also stay humble, even if sometimes it's hard to do when you get the, happy patient, they're loving the result, they love the treatment, treated their eczema and they're happy. But always stay humble as a provider. I think I wish people more provider in medicine or in dermatology and aesthetics do that too. Yeah. So those are some of my um, wishes. Yeah.
I agree along with those, and I hope that people can understand them more as well. And outside of work, what are some personal passions or hobbies that bring you joy or help you even recharge after a long day of work? I heard a bit about yoga and even a macaron business, which sounds yummy. So, mhm.
So for me, yeah, yoga and meditation is really important for me. It just kind of keeps me grounded and focused day-to-day task without being so stressed out. And I also like to bake. I used to bake French macarons and different pastries. Right now, I'm in like baking sourdough. I'm trying to figure out how to make it better. And then I also like to play piano and try to learn new things. This coming new year, I so little fun fact about me, my when I was little kid, I wanted to be a ballerina and never followed through. And I went to Nutcracker show recently. It kind of reignited that part of me, and so I'm gonna try to learn how to ballet as an adult. So learning new things, doing things like exciting, different chapter, I think that really keeps me going and balance and recharge as well.
Well, I really love that. And I hope you master the skill of ballet as well.
Thank you. Probably not mastering it, but yeah.
So what? Yeah.
Important to have fun with it.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
that's the main thing. Yeah. Life is short, so
Yeah. So to wrap things up, do you have any advice for students or young professionals who want to pursue a career in healthcare, particularly in a specialty like dermatology or aesthetics?
yeah, so many. Because I had to learn so many things along the way. Um, So many come in specialty, this particular specialty, thinking this is like fun, easy side gig, which is completely wrong, actually. To me, if someone told me, 10 years ago, Taehee, you're going to be in dermatology and aesthetic medicine, I'll laugh at them because I was not interested at all at that time. Um, but now I understand how complex this specialty is. You have to know your stuff and ongoing education and things like that. And so, really, um, people, I hope people knew about the specialty is like way more in depth than some people assume to be. So, you always have to be top of the game, knowing what's right. And then, the techniques and anatomy also changes. They have new things coming up. And so you have to keep up to date yourself, making sure doing no harm to each patient. So hopefully, anybody who want to be in this specialty really understand that part. Also, make sure this is really for you. Shadow a lot, learn the techniques, the courses, anatomy, um, making sure this is what you really want to do. Because this is patients' faces, their skin, you have to make sure respect that. Um, yeah, and then before going into this specialty, it is really crucial to be in critical care or medicine, like core medicine, that kind of helps you grow as a medical provider, learn how to communicate, build a rapport with patients. Those kind of skills doesn't come like naturally. So it has to be second nature from, learning those things from true core medicine, practicing ICU or surgical medicine or family medicine and things like that. Those really helps you, those experiences. And then take lots of courses. So after PE school, you have student loan. So you think about paying it off and things like that financially. But if you really have passion for this specialty, you have to invest. I would say collectively, I spent good 40 to 50K before moving into completely aesthetic dermatology, just to take different private courses, advance my skills fast, and learning more anatomy. Even though you think the moment you think you really don't know, if that makes sense. Yeah. So you have to really invest in that. You can't just get in and a lot of people want to get into this specialty, but apply a lot of jobs and network. I'm a naturally introvert person, and it was hard for me in the beginning, but you have to work hard for it. And so I would say I applied, man, I don't even know how to count it, but probably 500 jobs or more in derm and aesthetics and plastic surgeries. Yeah, over the years. So don't give up, keep trying. It will open to, yeah, the door will open to you. That one person trusts you or believe in you, that's where you start. And then, working in medicine, there's a lot of good people and people who are more, you know, negative, right? But learn from both positive and negative people in medicine, and you'll learn what to copy and not to copy. And so, those are really important as well. And lastly, really listen to yourself and be honest with yourself because there's going to be a lot of people with opinions tell you what to do, what you should do. But at the end of the day, it's you, it's your life. Intuitively, whatever makes sense to you, go ahead and do it. And I'll say, try hard, work hard, research a lot about this profession, whatever you want to go into in healthcare. But at the end of the day, don't over research. That happened to me. However, I one time I went to this conference. Never forget about this keynote speaker. He always wanted to create kids book, um, and he researched on Google, and Google told him not to. Basically, statistically speaking, he's not going to succeed because there's so many great kids books, and he's not going to succeed. And years later, he just published it, and it became one of the bestseller in Amazon. So, you know, take every mentor's advice with grain of salt. At the end of the day, it's your life. So, yeah, I would say those are some of my 5 cents. Yeah.
Beautiful advice right there. And thank you so much for sharing your journey today. And it is incredible to hear about your passion and dedication that had shaped your path.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It was truly inspiring to hear about all the challenges that you've overcome and the work that you're doing today.
And to everyone tuning in today, thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of Vitals and Voices. Your engagement and support means the world to us.
If you enjoy this conversation, then be sure to follow, share, and stay tuned for more episodes.
We'll see you next time.